In this video, I want to show you how to learn new languages fast based on my 10 years of experience and a lot of languages that I already learned. Hi, I'm Ekaterina from Monsterlessons Academy, where I am teaching you how to become a developer or improve your skills of being a developer in learning by doing way. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will link everything that I mentioned in the description box below. So let's jump right into it. So I learned and tried quite a lot of stuff during my time of being a developer. JavaScript, TypeScript, Ruby, PHP, C, C#, Objective-C, Swift, Java, and more rare stuff like Elm or Haskell, for example. So make sure that you stick until the end of the video, because I will share my own process of learning new stuff. The first and the most important point is to set a goal in learning your new language. Why are you doing it at all? Because without goal you can't really achieve anything. You need to set a goal for yourself. And there are 5 main goals that I see here. So number 1, you want to learn some language because you switch to another company and they are doing this language. This is quite common practice, especially not in languages but frameworks. The second point is if your current language is not paying enough. For example, you are in PHP world and you want to switch to Java world because you heard or you know that you can get more money there. The third point is if, for example, you don't have enough vacancies in the stuff that you are doing, let's say PHP, and you want to switch, for example, in JavaScript world because there are lots of JavaScript nowadays everywhere. And one more point is, for example, you want to improve your knowledge and you think that knowing only front-end stuff is not enough. This is why you want to try backend development or mobile development. And one more point, this is really rare, if you want to learn some language in order to change the way how you write code, or you want to improve how you write code. For example, you want to look on functional languages like Elm or Haskell in order to improve your writing skills in JavaScript. The next step is really crucial, but not a lot of people are doing it. It is about finding your own wow effect. It means that you need to find something that will push you in order to learn new language or framework, even if it's boring. For example, you know that your favorite game was written with your language that you're trying to learn, or maybe you just saw this nice new language and the code there was so short and nice and efficient, and you want also to write code like this. So you need to find something that will push you in order to learn. And if you can't find anything, you need at least to remember your goal, because this is what you want to achieve. And actually you can't achieve your goal without doing some boring stuff also. The next step is to choose your source of knowledge. It can be a book or YouTube videos, maybe some paid video course, or you want to check official documentation, or maybe dig inside GitHub repositories and check some projects. And there are actually pitfalls everywhere. Let's start with learning by book. Actually, I never recommend using books in order to learn something inside programming. First of all, because books are really often outdated and you can't really get updates there. The second point is that it's not that comfortable to just check the code in the book because you don't have archive there or some project that you can just start. One more point is that you don't see the screen and you don't see what author is doing, which means if you need to find some button to compile your code, you need actually to Google it or to find some video, because it will take time. Also, because the code is outdated, you will often get some magic errors or out-of-date errors, and you will just dig inside them and Google them, and it just takes time and it's not smooth learning. And all this stuff you don't have with videos. The second point is about video tutorials. I really recommend them, but there is also a pitfall here. For example, you can find some tutorials on YouTube, and actually some of them are really quality, but Sometimes they are lacking some information, sometimes they can also be out of date, and for example, a missing archive with all files that maybe you want to download. But at least they are free. But of course, they are free for all these reasons. And actually, this is why I can recommend you paid course. This is not like you just need to go and buy the most expensive course about some technology that you want, but actually normally they are up to date. You can ask the author about some problems in the course, and you can get an archive for each video and check the status if, for example, you have some mistakes. So I not recommend to start just by buying a course, but it's better to find some free tutorials, and actually at some point when you already have some knowledge, maybe think about buying a course. Also, I don't recommend to just go and buy the longest course about some technology. As I saw, there are some courses like 20, 30 or even 70 hours if we're talking about Java in internet, and you can buy them. But let's be serious, you won't watch 20 hours course in any case. Normally you will watch like 20-30% of it, but actually it's even in a new language, so it is really difficult to grasp everything at once. This is why I highly recommend to start with some small course or several videos, like for beginners, where you get just the starting information, how to do stuff, and normally with some real examples. This is then really nice. You are getting some basic knowledge in a really fast way, and it is going for you really smoothly. The next step is to go and check official documentation. It's not always good, especially if the language is not that popular. And for example, the official documentation of Angular, which is really quite popular, is really sad. But you just need to go there and check it once, at least to see what sections are there, how much stuff you need to learn, and where you can check something if you need to. The next point was about GitHub repositories, and actually if you're just a beginner or a medium developer, I don't recommend going and checking just GitHub repositories, because the code there can be different and not always good. It is difficult to find exactly what you want to, and it is difficult to grasp the whole project, which will be a real project with quite a heavy code base if you're just starting in learning new language. You can do that, but after some time. The next step that you need to do after some videos and official documentations is of course building your own project, because until you build your own project you can't say that you learned something. This is why just take some project that you want to do. This is really important. You want to do it, not just some random project. So it can be something small, like a blog, or maybe just a website with several pages, or maybe you want just to make a to-do list or a small game. It depends on the language, but it should not be a clone of Facebook or some super huge e-commerce shop with thousands of pages, because you simply won't implement it until the end. You want to start with several features, and then when your knowledge improves a little bit, you just continue doing new features. And of course, you will have a lot of questions how to do some stuff, or some magic errors that you don't know how to fix. You just Google them, and for beginners level, normally you can find like all of them inside Google on Stack Overflow. After some time of doing your project, normally you will see that you are lacking some knowledge, which can be deeper than just beginner level, and you need some features of the language or framework that you don't know, or maybe even architectural patterns. And it is really a nice time to find some advanced tutorial on your language or framework and just try to watch it. Normally you will find additional information and a lot of answers on most of your questions. It can of course be free tutorials or paid tutorials, doesn't matter, or even that huge 20 or 30 hours tutorial from some other website, but you don't need to watch like all videos, just videos that you need. So now here is my process, how I learned. The last was Angular. It was 4 years ago when I learned the new frameworks. So first point for me was to set the goal. I need to learn Angular in order to continue working in the company, because we were migrating all projects from AngularJS to Angular. Actually, this was not my choice, but I just need to learn it. The second point was the wow effect. Actually, if I'm comparing Angular to AngularJS, there are a lot of benefits of using Angular. For example, we have virtual DOM, so we don't render everything. We have TypeScript, so we have typing systems, and all this safe stuff. So these were really wow effects for me. The next point was to start with some YouTube tutorials. I actually just googled like Angular for beginners or something like that and just find enough knowledge to start and to grasp the main parts of Angular. After several days, I started to do my own project, and actually it was e-commerce shop, but it was not like the full-blown e-commerce shop. I just started with the several pages like the list of products, the single product, and so on, and just improved it with time. After some time, I understood that I need more Angular knowledge in order to continue doing my project. And actually it was easier to just go and buy like 20 hours course. Of course, I didn't watch the whole course, but I just skipped all videos that I already knew and just checked some advanced stuff that I needed. And actually it was not that expensive, and that gave me a lot. And then I continued doing this pet project until I saw that I can implement almost all features that I need and I understand Angular quite deeply. Then actually it was really nice and smooth to start working with Angular. As you can see, it's not that difficult to learn new language on your framework if you have a goal and a plan, and of course a wow effect for you. And the most important point here is that you need to build some project on your own, because without building it you can't really say that you learned some new language. And this is why all my courses that I created have inside the building of the real project. And if you are interested, I will link them down in the description box below. And if you like this video and you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put thumbs up for this video. And I will see you in my next video.